Hello everyone, I would like to go through a quick short introduction to the commit message hook which we developed so that we can get a consistent commit message across all the programs plus the consistent tracking ID and the domain names. This will help us to drive additional automation into build and integration and consistent releases nodes across all the programs. So let's get started. So there is a Confluence page. We put together very short information about how it works, what it does. I'm going to directly jump onto one of the examples here. For example, I'll pick MI19. This is the MI19, repo init command. I take this one, and this is where I use MI19 repo init command. The only changes, if you notice, is basically we are adding a dash dash no repo verify option, and plus we are adding a new repo URL, dash dash repo URL, which is internal version of repo which we developed on top of Google repo tool. So we took the Google repo tool, made some modifications to support Herman features and make it available to everyone to use it. So this URL varies, depends on if you are using the get it for your program. This URL varies to a different location. You will see here, for example, MI20, FCR1 and Titan, you will use a different URL. Let me jump into there. So this URL will be androidhub.herman.com, port 29418 herman/repo. That is for the get it version. For GitLab version, you see as it is here, it is githerman.com herman repo.get. So let's see how it works in action. So as usual, in your workspace, you run your repo init command. And first time users, what you need to do is, if you already have a repo init command run previously, then what you need to do is basically from this top level directory, you will run rm-rf dot repo/repo. So this will delete the older Google version of repo tool, which is in your local environment. And once that is done, basically you go back and run the repo init command again. This will initialize the repo tool in your local. We'll wait for a few seconds. So now repo init is ran, and if you want to check, you can go here and run cd into .repo, and you will see a commit ID, usually something like this. You will see the author is latest is me. This is developed between me and Nagarjun in India, and this particular commit you will see is basically is the head of the commit right now. So how it works? So your rest of the workflow remains same. For simplicity, I'm going to download one of the repo here, maybe art. So I'm downloading one of the repo. The first step it does is it trying to update the repo tool version whenever you run the repo sync tool. This is feature is only there in the Herman version of the repo tool. This is not there in Google version. So it's every time you run repo sync, it is updating the repo tool to the latest version what we have. And then let's jump on to art repo. For example, in this repo, you made some changes. For example, you may open any. I opened a readme file and I'm entering some information. This is a test change. You made your code changes. Now you verified it, test it, looks good. Now you want to commit it because this is a new file. I'm running git add, and then I'm calling git commit at this point in time. And when I call git commit, basically it opens up the editor session, which basically asks for a few questions for you to enter. So once you enter run git commit -a, that is -a, the commit hook get enables, and then basically you have option, either you want to use this hook to populate your commit message or you can skip it. In this case I would like to use it. I can press any key and hit enter, it will go to the next step, or just enter, it will go to the next step. If you want to quit any actually want to quit this process, you basically hit Q and enter key, and this will enter this session. Because I would like to continue this one, I'm going to just hit enter. Then the tool will ask you for enter a one-line summary. I'm going to enter this is demo change to show how works. This is always one line. As soon as you enter, it jumps to the next section. This is where this is the description section. This is where you need to add root cause analysis if you have one, the functional impact for your change, any important notes you would like to have tester when he tests this changes, and any URL containing your dev test results. If you want to add your URL into the Elvis rally, that is perfectly fine. You do not have to add it, but this is the best practice. If you add it, everything will be at one place, and eventually one point in time, we would like to write it back, this information, to Elvis and rally, or even RTC when it comes up. So this section, you can add actually multiple lines information, as many lines you need to add. For example, this is description line 1, line 2, line 3, and so on. If you want to exit this section, simply you will hit enter key twice and you will exit and go on to the next section. I'm going to hit enter key twice now, 1, 2. So it jumps into the next section. So we try to make it as user friendly, as intuitive as possible. And when it jumps to the next section, it is basically asking for, do you have Elvis ID? Enter the Elvis ID, only the number, no text, no information, anything else, only the number. If your rally ID, the rally ID starts with US and the number, you will enter as shown in the screen example. If you have Jira ID, you will basically copy and paste the Jira ID as it is, and tool will take it, verifies it what it is, and it checks against the system if the values are correct. So right now, current implementation support Elvis checking and the Jira ID checking. Rally ID checking is not yet supported, only it checks for the format. We are working on rally support and the RTC support. Hopefully we should see it in next 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm going to use a known number, which I know that it just works fine. So in this case, I'm going to use one from the example. This is for Elvis. So I know that this Elvis ID works fine. I would also like to add an example for user story. Basically, I say US and I would like to also add check for one of the Jira ID. And I'll hit enter. So basically the tool goes and checks if those values are kind of match. If they are not matching, it will just report an error saying that these numbers not match, and you'll be asked once again to enter these values. If you enter more than one value, just use a space as a separator. But any one of the value does not match, the tool is going to ask you back to enter the right values. And second time, whatever you enter, we do check with the system, but if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't get verified with the system, we are not going to add it to the commit message, but we'll continue to the next step, which is going to get your domain name. We have list of domain names specified here. If your domain name is not there, let us know. We'll go back and make sure that that's get added. Then you select one of your domain and then you get going. In this example, I just select maybe the HMI. I'll just select number 7. If you just use the respective number. Once you select the number, automatically the commit message gets formatted, added into the way which has a standard across all, which will be standard across all the repos, all the commits generated. If you have made any mistake in entering the data, this is the time you can go back and make that modification, right? In this example, I would like to add more information to this one. Adding more information. So I add it, I fix it as much as I would like to add into that commit message. Once it looks good and clean, neat, then basically I just exit out and it will get saved. And that's it. So now if you look into get log -1, which is the latest one, let me clear this so that I can show you only the commit log. Okay, now you will see only the commit log. Your information gets added when made. Then it has like 3 sections get added out of that commit hook. One is the summary for your change, description which you wanted to add, exactly where you wanted to format it, and it adds a tracking ID for the one which it's got verified to. So in this example, it is showing Elvis, Raleigh, and Jira. And you also included your domain name, so that also gets added. So this tool is kind of scalable. If you need to add any additional questions, we can always add it back, but try to cover as much as information you'd like to cover in the description section. We're trying to keep as many as versions of this configuration file to very minimum. If you need to capture any specific information about your program, let us know. We'll go back and add respective questions into the program, and that should allow anyone to get more questions answered. Uh, I hope you enjoy using this one. I hope this really helps you to make your commit message consistent across all the changes you make. If you have any questions or comments, if you would like to get back to us, if you would like to provide any feedback, or if you have stuck, please reach us out at this email ID, na_sw_integrators@harman.com. If you encounter any serious issues, bugs which need to be quickly looked into, please send email to either to Nagarjun or myself right away, or you can always reach us out on Jabber on respective working times. Nagarjun is in IDC, and myself I'm in US time zone. So this one pretty much gives you some screenshots which you already saw. The most important thing is you have to make sure that you are removing your this .repo/repo directory for one time. This is a one-time effort. Second thing is, if you face any challenges with this tool, I think probably you may face some challenges because of the bash versions or the versions of the Python we used onto the tool. If you ever face any of those challenges, all you need to do is remove .repo/repo, this directory. That will disable this hook and let us know what challenge you are facing, so that we'll fix it into the next version of the tool and make sure that it is workable for your environment. I'm expecting this will be, some people may see these challenges because individual development are still very different. Some of the tools or some of the packages what you have installed enabled, and the bash version you have, the Ubuntu version you have, so it varies across the program. Our goal is to keep one version which can run on multiple environments consistently. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Use it and let us know if you have any feedback and comments. Thank you very much.